Hello there everybody, it is me Leo and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today I'm super excited because we're gonna be building my very first vet clinic in The Sims 4. So I'm calling this clinic the Critter Care Center, and I decided to build this in Magnolia Promenade because I currently have an ongoing collab with a bunch of really awesome people, and all of us are gonna be rebuilding Brindleton Bay. So until that collab finishes, I'm gonna stay away from building in Brindleton Bay. That's why I decided to build this in Magnolia Promenade. Also, I have an ongoing Let's Play on cats and dogs, and let me tell you guys that I am having so much fun with vet clinics. It is so much fun to play in. Get to Work was one of my favorite expansion packs, and having a vet clinic in The Sims 4 is so similar to working one of the active careers that came with Get to Work, I mean. So yeah, it's very awesome and I'm really happy, and I'm glad that I actually took some time to actually play the vet clinic because it really helped me design this design this vet clinic that we're currently building right now. So I decided to go for a more kind of like postmodern / contemporary style. It's a little bit cheesy because of all the bright colors, and let's see, how can I describe it accurately to you guys? I guess it's very playful and very fun. It's a very playful and fun looking building, mainly because of all the bright colors that I used on the outside. And there's also an emphasis on this corner area right here because, well, this is a corner lot, and I wanted to kind of make it look like a legitimate community lot, which is kind of a challenge to do in The Sims because, sometimes it just ends up looking like a normal house, and I did want to avoid it. So I did my best to make it look like a community lot, and we have this kind of like a main entrance area in the corner, and it has like the bright colors, and we also have this steeple area, which took me a lot of time to figure out like what I wanted to do with it, because I did want to use the cats and dogs items that came with the expansion pack, and yeah, I just was able to use them in a way where, it doesn't necessarily look like a New England style house. It still looks kind of traditional, contemporary, if you guys get what I mean, but it's definitely very postmodern, and I'm gonna be mentioning that word many times. So for those of you guys who actually don't know what postmodern is, it's basically an architectural design movement. I guess it's an artistic movement, I guess it's a better way to phrase it. And it happened as a response to modernist architecture, because modern architecture tends to be very simplified, and for some people it tends to be very bland. Whereas postmodern is a little bit more colorful and referential towards earlier architectural styles such as classical and traditional architecture. So, yeah, we're seeing a lot of that now, postmodern architecture. And I noticed that there's a lot of shops and there's a lot of commercial buildings out there that are built in the postmodern style. And I think it's because it really gets to kind of establish the brand of whatever business it is. If you see something that's built in the postmodern style, you immediately recognize the brand because it has, a lot of color, it has a lot of details and stuff. So yeah. At this point, we are pretty much done with the shape of the building. We're just adding a couple of details over here. Once again, putting some emphasis on this corner area with this steeple, and adding a lot of detail with this balcony and corbels, using the corbels that came with cats and dogs as well. And I think that looked really good. And I also used that steeple top that came with pets, and it has the dog on top of it. So I did decide to use a lot of bright colors in this build, and the reason for that is I really wanted to kind of establish a brand for this for this pet clinic. And, I used a lot of really consistent colors, mainly blues and oranges, for the outside, because I wanted people to immediately recognize it when they see it as, a vet clinic. And, that brand also carries on to the logos that I used, because I used some blue paw logos that also came with cats and dogs. And of course, I wanted to give everything a balance, so I used a lot of different kinds of textures. I used a lot of different kinds of wallpapers to pretty much balance everything out. But pretty much the base color is this very nice navy blue clapboard, and then there's some stone accents which make it have that more rustic feel. And then we have these really, really bright, overly saturated blues and oranges, which I felt like really make the building pop. And I think that that's really important when designing community lots, because, especially when you are building a structure located in a commercial zone, it has to pop and it has to, be immediately recognizable to the consumer. So yeah. I also kept in mind that this was a hospital, so I didn't go over the top, because usually, in architecture school, they teach you the different psychological effects of different colors. Like red, for example, is very effective to be used in dining establishments, because apparently the color red invokes hunger or something like that. That's why a lot of like fast food chains like KFC or McDonald's have red in their logos and then their brand and stuff like that. So for the hospital, I went for blue because blue is usually a little bit more dignified. It's used in institutional buildings often, so that's why I went for a predominantly blue color scheme. And also the orange, because I felt like that was just a very interesting combination overall. So I felt like seeing the two colors together really is recognizable for anyone. So this is where I'm deciding on what kind of logos I wanted to use, and that's really important because those logos and those kind of like commercial imagery, they're the ones who are really gonna make it look like believable. It's gonna make it look believable as a community lot, because without that it just looks like a normal house. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I used those to maximum advantage to make it look 100% realistic. So, and you know what, I do think that this came out very realistic in the end. I could honestly see some community lots or maybe even some hospitals looking like this. I did research a little bit on some vet clinics, and they are quite simple actually. I've never seen like vet clinics that are really like elaborate and stuff, which is understandable because, when you have a vet clinic, you tend to be more practical, I guess, as opposed to, like focusing on the branding and stuff. But since this is The Sims 4, I saw no reason to go over the top and a little bit all over the place. So yeah. This is where I'm deciding to put another logo over here in front above these kind of like entrance archways. And I used a combination of, decals from cats and dogs, and also that, signboard, I guess, that came with Dine Out as well. So yeah. I also replaced some of the windows on the ground floor because the ones that I originally had didn't quite feel like community lot enough. So I went for these ones that have larger glass panes so that, it would seem a little bit more community lot like. Also, if you guys are hearing that noise outside, it's outside my apartment. There's a lot of noise. I'm literally living right next to a major highway. Not really a highway, but it's a major avenue. So yeah, apologies for all the noise that's happening outside. There's nothing I can do about it. So yeah. And right now we are pretty much just deciding on the main door over here. So I think I went for one that came with Get to Work. And it's the get to work one that is usually used in business lots as well. So that's what I went with. So over here, I was trying to figure out the floor plan, and I did have to do some minor changes with the outside, mainly because, you know, I couldn't fit the stairs where I wanted it to. So I actually changed this part over here outside. So moving on the interior, this is basically where I'm trying to figure out the layout for the inside. And basically, in terms of a vet clinic, we have a total of 2 rooms that the vet can use to examine patients. I don't know the name of the item specifically, but it has the exam tables. We have 2 rooms for the exam tables. We have 1 room which has like the really expensive like high-tech surgery table or whatever, that thing. And then we have another room upstairs that has the crafting table for the vets as well. So we have a total of 4 rooms for those vet related activities. And we also have 2 half bathrooms, and there's also an office area for the main veterinarian as well. And there's also a couple of lounge areas on the ground floor and second floor as well. So hopefully you got that. I know that was a very that description was all over the place, but hopefully you guys got what I was talking about. So I tried to carry in with the fun aspect on the interior. I don't know how to describe it, but I kept the whole playful and fun aesthetic that I went with on the outside, and I tried to be consistent with that on the inside as well. So I used these really nice bright colored wallpapers, which I really love, and I also used a mixture of different kinds of wallpapers. I used some spa day ones and some base game ones, and I also used this really awesome this really awesome carpet, which I believe came with toddler stuff, and it's really nice. I actually changed that later into this electric kind of like green color, and it looked really, really awesome. I'm really happy with how fun everything looked in the end. So right now we're working, oh my gosh, the cars outside are making so much noise. But so yeah, right now we're working on kind of like the main lounge area down the stairs, main lounge / waiting area, and I just tried to design it in a way that's kind of realistic, but also really fun as well. You know, I think in the end the whole interior looked a little bit more like a kid's hospital as opposed to a pet's hospital, because I used a lot of stuff from, you know, I used a lot of stuff that was intentionally supposed to be for the kids, but I don't know, I just felt like it looked really good in this context, and I'm really happy that, you know, I chose that, because if I understand correctly, many animals are actually colorblind. I'm not sure if that's just a myth or something, but I do think that a lot of them are colorblind. So having all these bright colors are probably more for the owners as opposed to the pets themselves. And I'm putting these like paw prints on the floor, and I was actually inspired by the existing vet clinic in Brindleton Bay. So yeah, I was really inspired by it. That's why I did that like cute little paw thing. And I also put like this really nice colorful rainbow rug. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it's all coming together. And then I think I also put like a TV area and also like some side tables as well, because I felt like that's really important to have, because trust me, I've gone to the doctors a couple of times this year and I got so bored because the waiting areas literally have nothing. I was literally sitting and in front of me was like an empty wall, and I was like really annoyed because like they should have at least made an extra effort, you know, maybe they could have put like a stereo, or maybe they could have put like a TV, because waiting at the clinic actually takes a lot of time. So yeah, it could kind of get boring. So I definitely wanted to put like a TV there so that, you know, just to make things a little bit more practical and kind of realistic. So yeah. And we're just placing in a couple more vet items over here. The vending machine for pets, and also that automatic registration thing for the owners that have sick pets. And yep, And I also put a couple of decals over here in this wall as well. I used like a decal for the kids, and it's like the ruler decal, which kind of measures the heights. Maybe you can measure your pet's height or something. And I also used that tree decal that came with Parenthood, I believe. And I also used this really cute lamp. Yeah, looking at that kind of like lounge area, it really does look like it's meant for kids. But you know what? For the kids who have sick pets, they're probably in a lot of distress right now when their pets are, you know, experiencing a lot of difficulty being sick and all. So, you know, I think that having a really nice, colorful area would be very good for them. And I also put that cat jungle over there in the corner because I couldn't figure out what to put there, so I just chose a cat jungle. So the room that we're currently working on right now is kind of like the administration office or whatever. It's kind of like the office for the not the dentist, for the vet clinic. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But yeah, this is kind of like the main office for the main head veterinarian or something like that, if they even have those. But I did go for a little bit more of a serious look for this because, you know, it's kind of like an office. I wanted it to look really dignified and a little bit more corporate. So this is where they're supposed to be managing the entire vet clinic. And what's really interesting is that I actually flipped the layout of this room in just a little bit. So yeah. So at this point, I pretty much decided to flip the entire layout of this room because I really wanted to use that really large dog playing poker painting. I think that might be a reference to something actually, but I really wanted to use that painting, and that's why I chose to just flip this whole admin office area. I think my grandma had like a tapestry in her house. And it had like an image of like dogs playing poker. So that might be a reference to that really famous piece of art. I don't even know what artist came up with that artwork, but I really remember my grandma's house having that like dog playing poker thing. I don't even know what I'm trying to reference, but I haven't been at my grandma's house for like maybe 10 years. So yeah, I'm trying to remember like if I really saw it or if it's just a figment of my imagination. But anyway, right now we're working on the very first exam room, I guess. So it has the exam table, and let me tell you guys, by the way, as someone who has run a vet clinic in my Pets Let's Play, it's very expensive to actually own a vet clinic. Like all of the equipment, even the really crappy quality ones, are very, very expensive. The exam tables, like the normal ones, cost like 4,000 simoleons, and then the cheap ones cost 2,000 simoleons. So, you know, it's really expensive. And you know, like I never really tried to be cost efficient with this build because I know that that was going to be impossible. So, you know, I just went with some really nice looking items. And yeah, I also put like an ottoman over there because in my gameplay I noticed that the owners, they like to sit while you're examining the pets. So I wanted to make sure that they have a chair in every room so that the owners can observe you while you're you know, while you're kind of like examining their pets. So this room right here is supposed to be like this really high-tech surgery exam room. I know, I'm not sure if it's really surgery, but let's just call it a surgery room because I don't want to get it confused with the examination room. But this is probably just a more high-tech examination room, and it has one of these really, really expensive and gigantic items over here. And yeah, you basically use it to examine your pets, and I believe they go inside and they undergo some tests or something like that. So yeah, I also use some of these career rewards. These are rewards that came with the doctor career, which I currently am also playing with in my pets let's play, because one of my characters there is a doctor and then the other one's a veterinarian. So yeah, we have that skeleton and we have that x-ray thing on the wall, which is really interesting actually, because it looks like a giant TV or something. I don't know, that just looks really interesting. And this is just me putting a chair in the corner, and I think I also put like a bulletin board as well, because I needed something to fill in the wall. So I felt like having a bulletin board would be a good choice. But yeah, all of the rooms actually have the x-ray thing, because that x-ray thing also came with cats and dogs as well. So some of the rooms have the larger x-ray thing, and then some of the rooms have the smaller x-ray thing for the cats and dogs. The larger x-ray thing is actually for the humans, but I just used it in vet because nobody really cares. And I also discovered that there were a lot of clutter items as well for the vet clinics. Like, I love these decals and these posters that are just so adorable. And if I understand correctly, some of these are actually based off of real life pets from the Sim Gurus, and they're just so cute. So I'm just putting a couple of decals over here above that kind of registration area, and a couple of posters over here as well. And in all of the rooms, I also put this kind of like surgery light. Once again, I don't know what exactly the purpose of that is, but I really like that because it's a reward that you get when you do a good job in the medical profession. And I just really like it because it makes everything look really realistic. Alright, so pretty much at this point, most of the ground floor is finished, and we're moving on to the second floor. And this is where the crafting station is located, as well as the second exam table, and also a lounge area and another bathroom as well. And speaking of the bathrooms, I think I'm actually gonna edit out the parts where I'm furnishing the bathrooms because they just don't really matter in my opinion. I don't know, I mean, some people would probably like to see me furnish everything, but for the sake of making this video as short and as concise as possible, I'm deciding to just edit those parts where I'm furnishing the bathroom out, even though there's really nothing interesting happening in the bathroom. The second floor bathroom does have the potty, like the potty thing for the cats. I don't know what to call it. It's like a potty area for the cats. You guys can see it over there. It's like this place where the cats can do poo-poo. And yeah, there's also this really nice lounge area, and I did try to make it as similar to the one downstairs, but also not literally like a copy paste of it. So it does have different furniture, but like the wallpaper is definitely the same, and the flooring is also the same. But yeah, I also put this feeding area, this automatic feeding area for the cats and dogs as well. So yeah, in case the pets get hungry, they can, you know, the owners can feed their pets. And by the way, has anybody figured out if there's other pets other than cats and dogs and fish that came with cats and dogs? Because maybe we can have birds or hamsters or something like that. I don't know, because I haven't really explored everything in this expansion pack. So maybe we can have hamsters, because that was a thing way back in The Sims 1. And I really discovered the hamsters really late. I didn't realize that we had hamsters until, like, I don't know, maybe really late into that game. So yeah, or was it The Sims 2? I think it was both The Sims 1 and The Sims 2. They had like that red hamster shelf container table thing. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, this is like the nice little lounge area over here in the staircase landing. And once again, I'm using some really brightly colored rugs, and I chose this rug for the kids once again, in continuation with all of the kid-friendly design choices that I'm making for the interior. There's no TV in this area, but there is a stereo, so people can still be entertained. And there's also a couple of bookshelves as well, so that they can be entertained as well. And yeah, it's just really fun. I also put another cat cat jungle in one of the corner areas over there. I'm really happy that we have a good variety of cat jungles actually. So yeah, and then we're also putting in a couple more posters over here for the cats and dogs. And you guys just saw me actually enlarge and minimize one of those posters over there. So it's like one of the new kind of like commands that we can do in The Sims 4 that came with a recent patch. You don't need cats and dogs in order to do this, but back then we only was able to enlarge the items, but now we can reduce them in size, and that is so exciting, especially for builders like me. That gives us so much more opportunities, even though I wasn't able to use it that much in this build, but I was still able to have fun with it and experiment with it a little bit. Oh yeah, by the way, I also used some really fun rugs in this area over here. I used this really cute frog rug, which came with, I don't even know what that came with, maybe toddler stuff, but that was really fun actually. So I used that over there in front of the cat jungle, and then underneath of the automatic feeding station, I also put a couple of newspapers because I felt like that made it look a little bit more realistic. And outside there's like a vacant wall, and in it there's like a poster thing. I don't even know what it's called, but yeah, I put like a poster hanging billboard thing that came with the pets as well. So I might have to see what that actually does. But yeah, right now we're working on the kind of like the lab area, if that's a good way to describe it. But yeah, this room has the crafting table, which apparently the vets can use to craft like different different like potions, I guess, different like things for pets that they can eat. Like I remember like feeding my pet like a poop randomizer, and that kind of gives him rainbow poop, and that also gives him a chance to have golden poop as well. I haven't really dabbled that much into the crafting table, but I'm pretty sure that being able to craft stuff for the pets is going to be so much fun. And for some of those simmers out there who are sadists, they can craft some things to give their pets like some diseases or something, and that's going to be a lot of fun and also very tragic for some people. But I don't know, it's just a lot of fun to see like all the different potions and their effects on the pets. And right now we're working on pretty much the final room in the entire house, and it is the second examination table room, and basically it's the same as downstairs because the only important thing here is the examination table. I was a little bit reluctant about putting it on the second floor initially because I know that some pets can't climb upstairs, specifically the kittens and the puppies. They can't climb stairs, so it might be very inefficient to have like an exam table upstairs, but I chose to put it upstairs because I wanted to spread them out as well. So I didn't want one floor to have all of the equipment and stuff that would make things a little bit, I wanted something interesting to happen on the second floor as well. So that's why I chose to put it there. And I think what's really interesting about this room is that there's actually a love seat in one of the corner, in one of the corner bay window areas. I did put like a love seat over there. I don't even know why, but I do like putting like chairs where the patient's owners can sit in, because I noticed that in my personal gameplay, every time I was examining the pets and stuff, like the owners would always sit right next to me while I was doing that. So I don't think I actually put the love seat. I take it back. I put this like table instead with all of these like plants and equipment over there. But I did put like a nice little dining chair at least. So there is still a place for the owner to sit in. And yeah, at this point, pretty much most of the inside is done, and we're just pretty much starting on with the landscaping over here outside. And I just kept it really tight and concise. I didn't do any crazy landscaping for this one because I didn't feel like it was necessary. So I just did things that complemented the building, and basically all of the planter beds are outlined with this kind of like brick fence that came with a base game, and it's been a while since I've used that item actually, but my choice for the landscaping was mainly to complement the building and not overshadow it. I also put that like picnic table that came with pets as well because it had the umbrella, and I just thought that that was really cute, so yeah, I put it there. And we are just filling in the planter beds with some dirt and then just placing in some plants as well. So I wanted to use a variety of plants, and I definitely wanted to use that like giant succulent looking plant that came with pets as well. I keep referencing it as pets, it's actually cats and dogs, but I think that people are just as open as calling it pets as calling it cats and dogs as well, because I mean, like, yeah, hopefully I don't get in trouble calling it pets, because I literally have no attention span and sometimes I don't really pay attention to what I'm saying. I'm so used to doing these commentaries that I, like, half the time I'm not even like paying attention to what I'm saying. It's just like my mouth just keeps saying whatever it wants. I also noticed that in some neighborhoods in Brunelton Bay, they have this like thing that looks so much like those bushes that came with Get Together, but I couldn't find the item specifically in Build Buy mode, so I don't know if that's available for Furnish You guys, but it's like the bush with like the purple flowers or something. But anyway, that is pretty much it for the landscaping, which means that that is pretty much it for the speed build. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut into the floor plans so you guys can see, and yep, that is pretty much it for my commentary for this video. Once again, if you guys had fun watching this video, please don't forget to hit that like, favorite, and subscribe button if you guys had fun watching, because it really helps out the channel a lot, okay? You all have an awesome day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!